Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Welcome. My name is Obindakon. Welcome. I want to share with you what I have termed basic facts about you trying to live your dreams in Africa. You trying to live your dreams in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Cote d'Ivoire, in Togo. If you are from the continent, not every country on the continent is that bad, but for the most part. The citizens or the citizenry being conscientized or programmed a lot of the times to believe that trying to succeed with your dreams, living here becomes that much difficult. So you can see Africans, spread around the world, taking all kind of jobs, and they say that it's because here is difficult and they have to find themselves. It's actually a career for most people to just find a place to go and live other than here. But I am of the opinion that you can still live your dreams to the fullest, trying to survive or live in our country or on the continent. So some facts that I've found out that you have to at least understand and go by because they will equip you. If you don't have much strong, if your argument is not that strong, trying to live in Africa and trying to live your dreams, you will be confused. And then when you go somewhere to, you get to the point where you retire. And one thing, if nothing at all, if I look at social media, you see that most people would want to live here in spite of wherever that they live. And so those of us who are here, some things will guide you, some things will help you, at least to live your dreams. You need the right mindset to trying to live your dreams in our country, Ghana, or in any other country on the continent, especially those of us who happen to have had some kind of higher education. Because I think the odds are against those who have higher education. The other guy who has no education, who just struggling, hustling, they think that if they are going to hustle that much, then why don't they find some place to go? Maybe they will be paid. They think they'll be paid better. But if you happen to have some basic education, like first degree or something like that, we still even caught up in the same kind of web. To think that to succeed here is difficult. I remember there was a time that we were discussing something with somebody and we were saying that if you look around, almost all the big men in our country happen to have gone somewhere and then they raised their capital and they came to Ghana or they came to live here. See, the so-called big men that we all talk about, they are also victim or victims of the same, programming. It's a program. It's a program not only because of the realities of economic hardship, but it's also a program because every human being is living a program anyway. The only thing is that you're fortunate if your program works for you. But for most people, the programming, they are not even aware that they've been programmed and they don't even know that the programming that they have had is working against them. So you have to look at your mindset. I don't think that you were born here just for nothing. I think that you were born here for a reason. And if you happen to go and live in another country, no problem. But don't run away because you think there's nothing here and you can't do anything here and you can't succeed here. I think that is a very dangerous perception. At the same time, you meet a lot of young boys, a lot of young women who, because of the frustration that they happen to go through after completing, whatever education that they complete and having waited at home, for years without getting a job, then they conclude that is so dangerous or is so bad and it's depressing trying to live your dreams here. So they would do everything just to get some kind of visa and go and live in anywhere, any country. The little that I know, it doesn't solve that much. It may look like it's solving it, but it does not solve it because the most fulfilling step that you take as a human being is not about the food or the clothes or where you sleep or what you eat or where you even find a job. The most fulfilling step that you take as a human being is what that which I've committed my life to do, to do. Is it making a contribution? Is it changing another person's life? That is one of the most important decisions that you ever make. And so the fact that you move from here to live in another country and you get salary and some car, some house, does not mean that you have crossed that mark. You will still want to feel like, am I making a contribution? Is this all that I was made to do? I mean, just to work, get paid, marry, have children, struggle, go through a lot of things? No. So, yes, there will be difficulties here, there are challenges here, but work on your mindset. Challenge a lot of things that you grew up with, especially those that were subconsciously putting us to look down on the very place that we were born, which is Africa, and the difficulties that been made so glaring to us. Because I think it's a program. Because the average person would want to point out all the difficulties and all the challenges, and we will not disagree with those things. But it's a program. Very few people you would see brought up here who can see opportunities, who can see the things that they can do to get ahead that quickly. Because it's a tuning, it's a mindset that we all grew up in. You hear of, if you don't agree, ask your children or go to any village and tell them, I want to send you to Togo. The children, those around 5, 6, 7, primary 1, primary 2, ask them, you want to take them to America, and you see how they will jump. I tell them you want to take them to Nigeria or Benin. It's a program. It's a program coming from the TV, the television. Is a program coming from the books, the daily things that we say to ourselves. So if you are going to live here and you are going to try to live your dreams, you would have to work against this, because the family will come and attack this. The community, the church, the media, they don't even know the programming that they are running on us. So it gets to a point you feel frustrated that why should I be here? Why should I be here? You have to learn that you're going to deal with a lot of difficulties, a lot of challenges, from government institutions to the culture to almost everything, and nobody is really responsible. All of us are responsible for living the system and living the country and leaving the whole people to be, to grow, and thinking that somewhere else is so much possible for every one of us to realize our dreams, but our country. They believe so much that another place is so possible for them to become a doctor, a lawyer, build their businesses. And sometimes they may not be wrong. Sometimes those are the realities. But what they forget to add is that wherever that you think is okay to live, those places were also built by people who did not necessarily run away. And so if you complain so much about the system, if you talk so much about all the negativities, or the bad things, or the bad forces that continue to fight against us trying to live our dreams on the very land that we were born, it's because we all think that somebody somewhere should come and make the system work for us. So work on your mindset. I think that one of the things, you have to be absolutely confident, and you have to believe that you can make a difference, and your dreams can be realized here. Your dream, whatever that you want to become. I'm not saying that it's not difficult. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that it's cool. But I'm just saying that that sense of duty, that sense of responsibility, that sense that it's possible for you to do it here It's that sense is what you have to work on. And it comes with the program. You have to challenge that thinking. You have to challenge that thinking that it's not possible. Here is so difficult. It's not that the difficulties are not real. They are real, but there's so much that you can do if you have a developed mindset, because the average person in another country is not looking at coming to Africa to become successful. The average American boy is not thinking of coming to, the opportunities are in Africa. They think that the opportunities are in their country. So they believe that if they work enough, they will succeed. If they believe that if they think enough, if they challenge a lot of things enough, they will succeed. I think that is the same kind of thinking that we have to have. If the efforts that people are placing in any country, I think that if those efforts are also placed here, maybe we would have it, a bit easier. And so work on your mindset is very critical. You cannot succeed in anything without the right mindset. The foundation is the mindset, how you think about that which you want to do. And this is the country that you want to live. This is the place that you've been born. This is where you think you can make a difference. Challenge the mindset and make sure that the mindset works for your favor. You see, you have to have that possibility mindset. You have to have that, you know, you have to know that it's not against you. The odds are not against you, and you're far stronger than whatever you think is against you. So work on the mindset is so critical if you want to live your dreams here. And I don't think that there is any other better place as an African boy, African girl, graduate, unemployed, employed, whatever you are, trying to succeed. I think that there is no other place that needs your help. There is no other place that needs you to be that much, relevant than this place called your country. And so grow through the process. Grow through the process. Make it your mind that I'm going to go through the process. It's not going to take 1 day. It's not going to take 2 days. As a matter of fact, if you go anywhere in the world, whatever that you want to do, whether you want to build a business, you want to get to the top corporate, you want to get top corporate job, you want to become an inventor, whatever that you want to become. Yes, some countries may have better tools, but those things most likely are for their citizens. You may not have the so-called better tools, but it will still, even if you had the better tools, they call them, you will still need to go through the process to become that which you want to become. So resolve that it's going to take me a bit of time. It's going to take me some kind of work, some kind of process, some kind of persistence to achieve my dreams living on this continent. So you have to work through that and say that I'm going to grow through the process. It's not going to come 1 day, it's not going to come 2 days. It can take you years. It can take you 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, sometimes 20 years to go through the process to become whatever you want to become. I believe in trying not to wait for anybody. Therefore, think of developing a business, developing a product, do something, come out with something. I think that is far more important than waiting, because you see, the thing is that it becomes so difficult when you just limit everything to job. That's where I see the difficulty. When you limit everything to job, I've completed school, I don't have any job. Therefore, my world has come to an end. It's so difficult here trying to get a job because everything is through somebody. If the minister does not know you, they will not even listen to you. If the government official, if you are not carrying the business card of somebody who they know, nobody would want to open the door for you. But yes, those may seem like the way it is, but nobody can stop you from starting anything on your own. That one, the business that you want to start, nobody can stop you. It may be difficult, it may be tough, but you see, if those who came before us had dealt with the difficulties, probably we would have a better system to give a fair shot. But now we have to deal with this, and so if you also say that it's so difficult, nothing can be done here, then nothing can be done here, and then we'll leave the same system for the next generation too. See, you're going to deal with government institutions that don't care about you succeeding. So you have to resolve that. You're going to deal with almost everybody who will not care about you, the contribution that you're making. Because everybody's only thinking about themselves. We are not thinking about, okay, what can we do to make this place better? That's where we are. That's why our progress is sometimes that slow. because I'm looking at, okay, getting this position, I'm buying cars, buying houses, you know, trying to say that I'm successful. Most of us have not been taught that the success of the country is the composite success of everybody in the country. No, majority of our people are just thinking of myself. So once I get that position, I get land cruiser, houses everywhere. That's it. And that's why the corruption seems to be very high. That's why most people judge. The only judgment that most people make is, what am I going to get from this? And so if you are in this kind of environment, when you're dealing with people, when you're dealing with institutions, when you're dealing with institutional heads, when you're trying to get a document, when you're trying to let somebody open door for you, see, majority of them just think of, what can I get by helping you? Because they are all victims of the same kind of culture that they grew up in. The selflessness it has to be taught. The group success has to be taught. Getting together to see the contribution that you are making, the contribution that I'm making, has to be taught. And so you have to just embrace it, that at this stage, this is how majority, and it's a very high scale assumption that I'm making. The majority are not thinking of opening door for you. No. So whatever business that you start, if you go to any government institution, they are not thinking of helping you. Majority of them are just thinking of what? What can I get? If you are starting this, we're working on this project, and the people need help. Somebody is thinking of solution, and yet they are putting every impediment everywhere. I'm like, so when is this kind of character going to change? But the character cannot change until the people know better. And so you just have to know that the contribution that you're going to make, the contribution that I'm making, maybe may shift the system into a better state. But at the moment, you have to equip yourself to know that the selfishness is very high. Money is a determinant for most people. And so you just have to deal with it. This is how it is. This is how the situation is. At least from you start a business, you go to the officials anyway, you're looking for contract. They're looking at, can you pay? They are selling the tender document, and they know that the project is gone, but they are still selling it. These are the realities, you see. The tax officials and all those people, you deal with them, it's very frustrating. And you get a lot of people, who make so much complaint. Don't make the complaint. Just understand that we all have to make a contribution to shift the system. And so you just have to resolve that. This is how the system is. If you don't understand the system, you'll be screwed. But the moment you understand the system, it makes you a bit stable. It makes you to understand that, okay, this is it. You cannot change anything, or you cannot improve anything, or you cannot walk through any system that you don't understand. And so understand that this is it. You may feel like, this is my country, so why are you frustrating me? The point is that your country, the people have not been trained to work with their own people to bring progress and to bring development. And so just know that in spite of all this, it is still possible to succeed. You remember that majority of our people are hooked on trivialities, especially those that we sent to school. They are just looking for a job, and that's it. Majority of our people, they don't care. They are just, once they get a job somewhere, they are very successful. They are very happy. They get the pay. They are concerned. We are occupied with marriage and sex and politics and jokes and comedies. Majority. A country that is lagging, yet majority intoxicated with trivialities. This is the reality. And so if you are self-driven, if you want to achieve something with your life, you would have to understand that you're kind. Maybe just 2 out of 1,000. And that is your reality. So if you're looking for everybody to agree and think like you, you may never push yourself. You may never achieve your dream. You may never live your dream, because most people are just looking for a Land Cruiser and a house, and they don't care about the next person at all. It is something that they pick from the environment. And so just watch the social media. Anything that is trivia, we are very much hooked up on it. We are very much happy with it. And religiosity and everything, we name God, yet our practices deny that we know God. So these are the realities that you're going to deal with. I'm painting it gloomy, but it is not that gloomy. It will get to a point that you see that you can do a lot if you have the right skill set. You can do a lot because then the competition is very low because most people are not thinking like the way you are thinking. You can do a lot. It's the beginning that becomes difficult. It's the beginning that is hazy. It's the beginning that you hear a lot of, bad statement and oppositions. But the moment you're able to stay, you see that it's that much. It's not that so tough as you would have thought in the initial stage. Then the next thing that you have to link, you have to be looking for people who want to do something, who want to live their dreams, who want to challenge themselves, who want to make difference, who want to help people. You have to look for people like that, and you have to find a way of linking people who are always looking for a better way to improve themselves and to bring the best, to their environment. You have to look for such people because you cannot live your dream when you are surrounded by people who are not going anywhere. So these are some of the basic facts that you have to know. So you have to look beyond the job seeking. I said that you have to look at creating your own job, creating your own opportunities, doing something. Focus beyond the casuals. Focus beyond what the culture or the cultural script is about. Focus beyond the religiosity. Focus beyond the school, and you have to move from the country and go and live somewhere before you can succeed. All those. Focus beyond those. Equip yourself. Read. Develop your mind. Do something with your time. And don't curse yourself that you were born here. Don't curse yourself. It's not possible. I remember the first time I traveled to another country. I look at them and I said to myself, I cannot live here. I just said to myself, no, I cannot live here. I can't live here. You have not provided the answer or basic facts about trying to live here. Okay. Am I providing an answer? Is Mr. Buddha? I'm just telling you the facts so that you go through it, develop the mindset, and when I travel to that country, and I look at what my family people were doing, and some of them had been there for years, and this is a country that they talk about, they talk a lot about, and then a lot of people wishing to go there, and I get them like, no, I don't think this is the country I want to live. No, I mean, you can come here and visit them, but to live here all your life, no, no, no. Why? Because I saw it as so limiting. Maybe where I went, maybe the people I moved with, but I thought that you should develop yourself to a point where you want to live your dreams and you are ready to overcome and meet any challenge. So I am talking about basic facts about what you're trying to live your dreams in our country. Settle that you are needed in this part of the world. There's no place that there are so many opportunities than Africa. If you don't know, I'm telling you, because we have to build almost everything from ground up. We have to build almost everything from ground up, from everywhere, with proper, efficient structures and systems. The tools, we need help across board. The way our people work, the way our people think, the way our people understand the world, the way they look at themselves. There are so many things that we need. We need to create a lot of things. And so wherever that you can identify that your help is needed, you need to develop yourself there. And stay resolved, because once you think that there is an option somewhere, that is the challenge. And that's what I've seen about most of the guys who live somewhere and come back home. They think that they can pick their passport and go back, so they are not focused, they are not resolved, they are not 100% certain. I think that you have to resolve that. You have to say that, no, I have come here, I'm needed here, I have to make a difference. Human beings are supposed to live to make a difference, and I think that there is no other place to make a difference than this country or any other country that that is in Africa that you so wish to live there. And I think that if you have not caused any development in your country, don't go and change any other country. There's no way that people are going to respect you if you come from any country and that country is still poor. No matter how much wealthy you become in a foreign land, they will still tag you to the prosperity or to the poverty of the country that you come from, of the continent that you come from. And that's why the consciousness should strike every one of us that the success that we are talking about is not just the individual success. We are talking about the structure that must be re-engineered, reconfigured to produce people who will be ready to fight to develop their own country and be proud of it and not to run. There was a time that I heard that when the women are even pregnant, they want to go and give birth in another country so that their children will become citizens. I'm like, wow, what kind of people are thinking like this? We have a challenge. And the challenge, I said, is the mindset of our people, the way we see ourselves, the way we've been brought up to look at the opportunities in our own country, to look at how we even believe in ourselves and how we can solve our own problems, without calling for help every time. These things are challenging. So these are basic facts that you are going to meet. And so you need the right mindset to resolve to live here. Say that I'm going to make a difference. Yes, you can go to all those schools and come. You can go to all those schools, but I don't think you should just place it on the table that Africa is so difficult. I just want to get out. I just want to get out. You go to the other place, you will see that maybe here is far better than all the other places. Okay, yeah, especially if you want to live your dreams. I'm talking about living dreams that will bring difference to the country, to the continent, to people's life. I'm not talking about dreams of getting a better job and doing it and buying a house and a car for you and your wife. I'm not talking of that. I'm not talking of living a selfish, limited little life. I'm talking of making, whatever that sharing it with people, making a contribution, changing lives. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about somebody just trying to get a job somewhere and trying to say that I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer. I'm not interested in those. Living for yourself, little world. I'm talking about somebody picking this orphanage and putting this maybe 100 people through school, going to the prisons and building a whole block for them, building a whole school, changing. We are complaining of education structure. Maybe you're building a whole new way of training the minds of our people, maybe training people how to develop better products, building people how to build businesses, training people how to, any expertise that you have. Look at our hospitals. There are so many things that we have to do. Better way of serving people, customer service everywhere. So these are the things that we are talking about. We are not talking about you just trying to get a job. I'm not and living some little life somewhere. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about living your dream. And if you're dream driven, and you see the continent as here that you want to realize your dream, these are some of the basic facts that you are going to meet. But because you're dream driven, because you're not selfish, because you're not just looking for little pig somewhere, because you're not just fighting for pay increment, because you're not just fighting for Land Cruiser to drive, you're not fighting for some political office somewhere to get a contract. I'm not talking of people who are just self-focused. I'm talking about people who the development of our people are so much important to them. The development of our continent is so much important to them. They're seeing the value that they can add to lives. Such people, you're going to meet a lot of challenges, but you have to resolve that because you carry a dream. You carry a dream. And anybody who carries a dream must be ready to wage a lot of wars. Because the very system that you are trying to change, the people don't even know that the skill sets that they need to have to develop the continent, the thinking that they need to have to develop the continent, they don't even have it. They don't know. They don't know. If you look at how we handle our time, if you look at how we handle people, if you look at the courses that we are giving to the people in the university, if you look at how we work, we have no idea what we have to do intentionally to move from this level of development to the next level of development, to become competitive. And that's where we don't know. We have no idea. We have no idea. We are so much caught up in culture and traditions and politics and religiosity and getting certificate. Those are the things that we are caught up in. Yet the countries that are driving innovation, technology, big businesses, those are driving entrepreneurship, thinking, breaking a lot of things down, can see that their focus is on developing the mindset of their people, telling them what if you don't put it in, you cannot get it out. Those things is what I am talking about. And so if you think like that, it's going to be a total shift from what everybody else knows, because everybody else knows is what, let's go for funeral, let's go for Deba, let's go and bow to all these guys and talk about the politicians and read some scripture and quote God will do it. Those kind of lifestyle, they're not going to get us to develop. You cannot build anything if you think like that. You can only keep the status quo, but the population will be growing. And you only have to go to China and go to all these countries to beg them to come and help you to do things, because you're not focusing on developing the people. So you have to, if you are dream driven, you have to think like that, that the mindset is a major challenge to a lot of our people. And you cannot live your dream if you're thinking like that. If you use your time like that, if you work like that, if you behave like that, you cannot bring any change. Your dream will not be realized because you're just thinking like the majority of the people, and who are just looking for money. So you have to know that once you don't want to think like that and you're changing the mindset, you are going to go through the process to develop, to become a better person, to understand how the people behave, what we are, where we are, and what you have to have in order to live that dream of bringing positive change to the country you so love. Because anybody who resolves to live here must know something that the others don't know. Must know something that the others don't know. And must carry a burden that the others may not want to carry at all. So which means that you're carrying a burden. You cannot keep at that same stage. You have to grow. So you will also understand that nobody will do anything for you until they will ask you for money. Government institutions and all these guys, everybody is trying to take money from you if you're trying to do anything here. Those are the facts. Well, if you're building business, it everywhere you go, somebody else your employees will be trying to extract some money from your government. Will be everybody. This is the system. We don't even know that we have to push a lot of these people to develop, to become, to get to a stage where they can develop the country themselves. We are not thinking like that. We are thinking of, if I push you, I remember there was a time that we were working on some project. Once I talk to the person, so what do I get by helping you? That's all that our people know. It's always, what can I take from you? It's always, bring money, bring this, before I can do this, before I can get you this, before I can connect you to this. It's a problem. But these are basic facts that you're going to deal with. And don't get frustrated because you meet those. Don't get frustrated. You just have to know how to handle it. And also resolve that you are not going to get corrupt by those people. Just resolve that I'm not going to get corrupt by this. I'm going to go through it and I'm going to grow in character. I'm going to grow in skill. I'm going to grow in my morals. I'm going to grow in my endurance. I'm going to grow, become perfecting how things are done and done well. You have to grow through the process and deal with all the challenges that you and don't forget that the difference between those who speak English in our country and those who don't speak English is not the intelligence of the content. It's just the language difference. If you change it, it's the same. So it doesn't matter whether they've been to school or they've not been to school. A lot of them are just product of the environment. So the way they work, the way they treat people, the way they talk to people, the way they consider others, the way they take their job seriously, the way they handle their time, it's just the English. The productivity is just about the same. Just about the same. And so you should not be frustrated with that. And a lot of people would expect you, if you have dream, instead of you to focus on the dream and work yourself through and get results, they will be worrying you. If you have BSc, they will be telling you, when are you going to get MSc, a PhD? To us, the achievement is getting degrees, not the work. The work. If you get a government big position, no matter what you do there, everybody bows to you. It's not what you're doing. It's really just get the position. And for us, that is the success. So we have a lot of things that we have to improve. Hopefully, we will be able to make a difference So this is how these things you deal with them, and that those may help you to get through your dreams. And the other thing is what? The other thing is focus far beyond the norms and the normal things that you see. Focus on the dream, whatever you want to build. If it's a business, focus on that. Become a best student in that. Develop yourself, constantly learn, and have maximum respect for people. Have maximum respect for everybody. Continue to learn and stretch yourself. Continue to learn, stretch yourself, and resolve, because you have to become something before you can produce results. You have to. You can't just do things anyhow and expect to get results. And one of the things that this connection, and corruption has, one of those things have brought to us is that they have made us not to appreciate the processes that we have to go through to get results, because you can just pay to get it. But really, if you want to get results, if you want to get to your dreams, you are going to develop. And make sure that by the time you get to your dreams, you have not been changed by the system. And so build any dream that you have. If you want to go and work for somebody, when you get there, be a change. Be somebody who can bring significant progress and change there. If you start a business, make sure that you're doing the business and doing them well. And treat people well. Resolve to stay and have the ability to continue to push when everything else seems like it's against you. And don't be frustrated, and don't curse the land, don't curse the country, and don't curse the people, and become so light. Once you start to do that, you get exhausted. You have to know that we are all part of the same. We're all victims of a structure that we have to change. In some places, the people believe that because they were born here, they are successful. They have not even done anything, but because they think that their country is the best. So once you're born there, every opportunity is available to you. Now, on the other hand, a lot of our people think that because they were born here, every opportunity is against them. Everything is against them. I think that you have to resolve, change it. I don't believe that. I think that here is the best place that I can succeed. There is no other place that I can succeed. Based on my understanding, based on what I know, based on how I look at life, based on how the culture that brought me up, I think that here is the best place for me to succeed. And here is the best place for me to start. I just have to do more. I just have to be a good person. I just have to stretch more, learn more, and be dependent. I mean, people can depend on you. People, you can overcome a lot of things. Expect thousands of mistakes. Expect thousands of antagonism. Expect thousands of people disagreeing with you and disrespecting you. These are the realities. Expect all of them, and still keep your cool and keep your heart and keep pushing, and you will succeed with whatever you are doing. If it's business, you will succeed. Don't give up. Don't let the system run over you. Don't let the system kill you. Don't be frustrated, and don't pride yourself so much with so much connections that you think you have. What people will pay you for, what society will pay you, is that what you've been able to do and do well. So my name is Obedako. Thank you for watching. I'm just trying to talk about basic facts that you meet about you trying to live your dreams in this part of the world. And it's a fantastic thing just to live here and make a contribution. So stretch your mind, challenge your thought, read more. You cannot beat a culture which you don't think differently from. If you think just like everybody else is thinking, you cannot do what everybody else is not doing. You can't do much, because then you'll be exhausted. But the moment you start to stretch yourself, you start to do more, become more dependable, productive, more excellent in how you solve issues, solve problems, and don't buy the religiosity. Don't buy it. Don't wait for God to solve your problems for you. And life is not lotto and chance. A lot of life is what you do. And nothing is, a lot of the things that they say demon is coming, or a lot of them are just the way we gloss over details. Those are the things that have been responsible for a lot of the errors and a lot of the accidents and the problems that we meet as a people. And then we go to say that is the devil or something. A lot of the challenges that we meet, a lot of them are just things that countries have solved, and we are still trying to blame something somewhere. So if your business is struggling, if your life is struggling, if you're not getting the job, don't blame any demon, don't blame any force or somewhere. It's not the case. Sit down and plan and see that it's not the case. You can do more. Maybe you just look doing one. Maybe you are looking for a job, you just write 2 applications and you go to sleep. No. Maybe you just have to write about 1,000 applications and keep pushing until you get it. You have to have that resolve. And the fact that you just go and you meet some little challenges, don't go and blame anybody, and don't go and look for some demon somewhere and go and buy some anointed cocoa or something, trying to get, no, those things. Just program your mind wrongly. You become a victim of an error, right? So you've been to school, use your head. Don't just let people just push you anyhow like that. You waste a lot of time, you waste a lot of resources, and you don't get anywhere. Because you feel like you have no power. You feel like you have no skill. You feel like you can't change anything on your own. So somebody else would have to pour something on you all the time. So but if you resolve that, if I learn it, I'll get the results. If I put in enough, I'll get the results. Those things, you see that living on this continent, it's not that bad at all. It's something that is very gratifying, especially when you go through all that you have to go through, and you start to see that whatever that you started starts to work, and it starts to bring progress. It starts to bring some kind of changes. It starts to, you start to employ people, or that business that you went through so many things to build. You sit back and you look back and you look at what people said and what they said could not be done. Now it's being done. It's fantastic. It's a unique feeling for you to see that, everybody said that it was a waste of time. And that's why you have to be prepared for. They will tell you every dream that you have a lot of advisors who have never done it, but who will be telling you it's not possible. Especially if you want to start a business, and they will tell you that they have never started one, or they have never done it, but they will tell you that it's difficult. They will tell you all the mistakes. They will tell you all the people that they know who tried and who didn't succeed. These are things people will take it as their call, or as their calling, to advise you to stop and go and look for somewhere, go and look for a job, to stop, and tell you who tried and never succeeded, who tried and they came after him. People have been programmed to be that much negative. They'll even laugh at you that you are trying to do something here. Why don't you go and look for some visa somewhere and travel? So these are realities that you meet, but I just handle it as in this life, people just understand from the level they are. So if you know more, don't let those who don't know confuse you. It's as simple as that. If you experience more, then don't let those who have not done it confuse you. If you believe in your heart that you can do this, then don't seek advice from those who have never done it, because most of them, they're just talking. They have no proof. So talk to somebody who's doing it, and you see that the information you get is different. So it's for me, it's nowhere like trying to make it a contribution on our continent, in our country, and not be frustrated. Don't worry about all those things that you hear. Just keep pushing and keep doing things that you have to do to live your dreams on our continent. Is fantastic. And don't compete with anybody. Just compete with the dream and keep pushing, and grow gradually and build on the right foundations. And don't let the system destroy you. Don't let the system destroy you, and continue to enlarge your mind, develop yourself, constantly develop yourself, and connect with people who are that driven, people who think like that, people who think like helping people, think like creating value, people who think like building something. Connect with such people. That's how you become great. That's how you live your dream. And you'll be amazed. After 20, 30 years, those who ran away, those who had to move somewhere, will come and they'll ask you, how did you do it? They will ask you, but they will not know how much you had to endure, because it's not for the faint-hearted. It's for the resolved. It's for the strong. You want to live your dreams here? It's for the strong. It's for the strong. It's for the strong. It's for the strong. Just be resolved that I'm going to do it, and be a good person, both in character, and don't be weak. Be strong. Don't let people just take advantage of you. Be strong, but be a good person. Be strong, but and don't give up like that. And be positive. Be positive. Think differently. Don't let them talk you out of your dream. Don't let your mother, don't let your father, don't let your friends talk you out of your dream. That dream is possible. So try to live that dream here. And hopefully we'll be able to build a better Africa than the one that we came to meet, where the young will be building products, businesses that are solving the problems of our continent. That are solving all the major problems, the cultural problems, construction problems, real estate problems, retail problems, health problems, developing softwares and tools. And it can be done here if we stop worrying so much and stop wasting a lot of time on trivialities, on things that don't bring real value to us as a people. So thank you. Thank you very much.